Welcome to From the Couch Sports. I'm your host, Connor Bopp, and today I want to talk about a couple different big sporting events we had over the weekend. We had UFC 271 on Saturday night, and then today we just wrapped up the Super Bowl Sunday, concluding the 2021 NFL season, and it was pretty good football game. That's for sure. Kind of a lot of back and forth. There was a point where Bengals came out in the second half and they scored really quick, and then they got a pick and they kicked a field goal, and it looked like the Bengals were kind of taking the momentum of the game, and then the Rams kind of settled into it in the second half. In the first half, kind of towards the end, Odell he looked like he hurt his knee pretty bad. I'm not sure what exactly the injury was, but he wasn't able to play the rest of the game, and the Rams offense definitely struggled because of it. They didn't really have the firepower they did when Odell was on the field. He makes a big difference. And they were really stagnant for most of the game until they had the fourth quarter drive where basically Cooper Kupp just went beast mode. He single handedly won the MVP of the game on that drive. I want to say he had 4 or 5 catches. Basically, he caught 2 touchdowns because one of them was taken back because of the double penalty. So he just had a phenomenal game. When it was all said and done, Cooper Kupp had 8 catches, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns, bringing home the MVP. Matt Stafford, he had a big game too, 3 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions, both pretty tough picks. One of them was a bounce off the receiver's hands and into the corner, and then the other one was like a deep, just kind of like a Hail Mary shot at the end zone that was picked off by Jesse Bates. But really good game all around. I think the Rams defense really dictated the game towards the end. You had Von Miller coming along, 2 sacks. Aaron Donald also had 2 sacks. Just really, so that defensive line in the first half, I believe they only had 1 sack, and then for them to come out in the second half and then just dominate the way they did, um, I believe the record for sacks in a Super Bowl was at least met, if not exceeded, by the Rams defense. So that's just crazy to see. And with all that being said, the Bengals were in position to win the Super Bowl on the final drive. They were driving, a kind of questionable call on third down, running the rock. You go for it on 4th and 1, and Aaron Donald just blows the play up once again, like he's been doing all game. Joe Burrow just isn't able to get the ball off. This is after he kind of tweaked his knee on a couple drives before. You could tell he wasn't the same afterwards with his mobility. But besides that, the Rams defense was just playing at such a high level. It was kind of hard for him to be. But with that said, the Bengals have so much to continue to look forward to. They got Joe Mixon. He's young. He had 15 attempts and 72 yards, so he had a pretty good game. And then T. Higgins, four receptions for 100 yards. Ja'Marr Chase, 5 receptions for 89 yards. Ja'Marr Chase just had an all-time historic rookie season, and T. Higgins just kind of fell under like unknown. And T. Higgins had a crazy good year as well. He had over 1,000 yards receiving, and they look to be a really good, nice tandem duo in the future. And this is just the first year for the Bengals to kind of put everything together. They do have a few free agents coming up, but I think ultimately with the amount of cap space they have, including the fact that they have all of their draft picks, they can go and attack this offseason and build on what they had. If they're able to put some more pieces on the offensive line, maybe add another tight end that can help in the blocking game, this offense is just going to go to that next level. Joe Burrow's going to be in his third season, so he'll be even better. Chase, Higgins, those dudes are so young in their career that they're only going to get better. And then the defense, they're able to invest a few more pieces, add to that defense. They really have a lot to kind of look forward to. This, obviously, if you're a Bengals fan, it's a tough loss because you never want to see your team make it to the Super Bowl and lose. But most people didn't think that they were going to get to this point. Most people thought that they were going to lose when they played the Titans in the divisional round. Most people thought they were going to lose when they played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And, most people expected them to lose to the Rams, and they were in the game at the very end, down to the last drive. And that's commendable. It's crazy to see. This is an all-time historical kind of moment. A quarterback in his second year to turn a franchise around like this, it's just incredible to watch. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to watch this Bengals team and see what they do next year. They might be even better. And they just made a Super Bowl, but everything teams are going to go and attack this offseason. It's going to be very interesting to see how things play out coming into next season. But if you're a Bengals fan, you got a lot to look forward to. You have a superstar quarterback, a rookie wide receiver that just had an all-time season, and just all around tons to look forward to. Now, like if I were to give critique for the game, the holding on the linebacker and the Cooper Kupp play towards the end on that last drive, I think that was a little like for pretty much the whole game. I made a comment like, it doesn't look like they're calling any penalties. Like the only penalty I could even remember was the Vernon Hargreaves running on the field and celebrating with the interception. But like besides that, I couldn't think of any penalty. And then we got to that last Rams drive, and there was penalty after penalty, multiple penalties back to back to back, and just it was crazy. And that would be my only critique. I didn't think that was necessarily something you could call as a hold. But to be fair, at the same time, that T. Higgins play on Jalen Ramsey, he clearly yanked on his face mask. That should have probably been a penalty. But nonetheless, it was a incredible Super Bowl. That's pretty much it for the Super Bowl. Like, you got a lot of bright spots for the Bengals going forward. Now, if you look at the other side, the Rams, they might not. They got a lot of free agents. Odell might have just hurt his knee pretty bad, so we'll see if he's even healthy started the season next year, or if he's even on the Rams. I know Von Miller is a free agent. A rumor had it that Aaron Donald wants to retire potentially. I know he's pretty young. I think he's only 30. I even saw a rumor that like McVay might want to go into the booth and commentate instead of coach. They just won a Super Bowl, so I'm sure some of these things will settle here in the coming weeks. But on paper, the Rams, they went all in on this season, and they do still have pieces, but to go all in again next year, I think they're gonna have a harder time. They're probably gonna lose Whitworth, the left tackle. I think he's 40 years old, so I can't imagine him continuing to play. Eric Weddle, he came back just for the playoffs, so he's gone again. I know they had injuries at the safety too, which is why Weddle was playing. But nonetheless, they got a lot of free agents, and it doesn't look like they're going to bring everybody back. And that's kind of the story on most Super Bowl teams. The Bengals probably won't bring the entire team back either. But with the Bengals, you have a lot of cap space and all your draft picks too, so they're gonna only be able to build on this team that they have now. But that kind of sums up the Super Bowl. Outside of that, the Bengals defense played a hell of a game. They were able to completely shut the run game down. And Cooper Kupp is just he's on this crazy had this crazy magical season, like over 20 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure he set some crazy records. I know he led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. And he just continued it through the whole season, all the way down to winning the Super Bowl. So that was an awesome season to see, just from a wide receiver standpoint. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the Super Bowl.